What we're looking for is a big stone grumpus face and a bug snack called a pinkle. Let's look around.
Okay, so this is my Bugsnax review slash rambling. So I beat this a few months back. It came out in about 2020, November time. And it's about burrow-like creatures called grumpuses or grumpi. They eat snacks that are also bugs. It's called Bugsnax.
Here's to a hard day's
And then no one else in the world seems to be eating Bugsnax other than people on this island. And then just there will be spoilers ahead as well. So starting off with the graphics and sound, so starting with the visuals specifically, it has a nice bright cartoony art style with well designed Bugsnax who are kind of cute and funny. They give a burger that has fries for legs and goes around shouting bunker all the time, and bumping into things. Just kind of mashes food and then bugs or animals together. And the grumpuses themselves just slowly progress into them as well as you feed them Bugsnax. But they still have something to identify them with despite their colour and shape changing throughout the game. So there's like Wiggle who has a scarf, and then Chandler has a cap, and then Wambus has like a check jacket as well. And then the environment itself has quite good diversity, so I wouldn't expect anything like too modern or too high production values, because it was probably made by quite a small team and it's in the game. But it has about 8 biomes with its own weather system and day and night cycle, which is quite impressive. Each of those 8 biomes are kind of split up into 4 different pairs that transition more gradually into one another without feeling too jarring. So as well as that, there's kind of, I think there's secret entrances later on that kind of connect a bit more of them together. I think 2 extra ones are connected maybe. And then the center of all this is Snacksburg, which is the main hub where the inhabitants live. It's kind of like a homely feel to the visuals, with the grumpuses having their own small house. There's a wee campfire in the middle of them. And each house has like something that briefly describes the grumpus themselves, so it's scattered around, but just helps you immediately identify them. Like, I think it's Triffany who has all the fossils and stuff lying around, because she's the archaeologist, and then Chandler has weights. They're just sitting around as well. So I mean, that's quite a lot to experience, so all the grumpuses are quite well voice acted, have a good cast, and then there's a nice like retro sounding track that's played in the background. And I think they're remix that for different parts of the game, or depending on where you are as well. Like the sunny area like Scorched Gorge, or if you're up in the mountains like Sugar Pine Woods, it sounds slightly different. Each Bugsnax as well, once you're out hunting for them, say something or make a noise when they move around, that adds to the cuteness of them. So you have like Strawberry, just says that repeatedly over and over, or Bunger, who says his name over and over. It's a nice touch that as well, that you hear them through the controller speakers when you catch them. And then next is the story. I'm not really great at interpreting things, but I'll give it a go. So you start off and you crash land on an island, after being sent there by, I think, the head of your newspaper, like an investigative journalist, looking into Bugsnax. Once you get on the island, you help these inhabitants to find their leader, to reconnect them all, since something before the events leading up to the game caused the group leader and her girlfriend to leave, and for everyone to kind of split up and do their own thing. So you interview the grumpuses, pick up clues, and then complete favors just to piece together what happened. From the start, it's kind of evident there's a bit of like a darker side to everything as well. Like there's quite a few story modes throughout where you're gathered around a camp and you're told spooky stories. There's sightings of mysterious creatures kind of looming in the distance, like the snack squatch, and then you find the remains of past grumpuses just kind of scattered around. Even some of the tropical beach, you'll just see shipwrecks and like, bones just scattered around, so you know something's went wrong in the past. And then you just gradually talk to people throughout the game, so at the start there's only a couple of people living in the main village. Then you go off into the different biomes, find a new person, recruit them, and interview them and learn a bit more about their backstory. And then following through in the side quest, you'll learn a bit more about them as well. From that, you kind of gather that they all seem to be connected by the fact that the outside world has shunned them or made them into outcasts. That they're particularly by their own choice, and they use the Bugsnax to escape from all that. It gets them kind of through their day to day. So I was just reading up about it really, just to kind of get an idea to see if I was too far wrong about it. But it said some people thought it represented drugs, which could make sense. So, for example, you have Chandler who likes to lift lots of weights to protect Snoopy, and this idea is that if he's able to lift a certain amount, he'll be strong enough to protect Snorpy from anything. And the drug in this case that he'd probably be taking is steroids. And then you have Wiggle, who's afraid of becoming a one-hit wonder. She's a famous singer in the world. But people started, after her song, it's been a few years and she hasn't had any hits since. People are starting to forget about her. She's concerned about that as well, that she's losing attention. No one really knows who she is now. She's not famous. So she's off taking Bugsnax for inspiration. So I don't know what drug you would say for that. Maybe weed. And then you have Bethica, who maybe doesn't fit in quite as well as those other two examples, but she's been outcast because she's always snooping and prying. People in the outside world didn't seem to get on too well with her, so that's how she ended up on the island. And she seemingly takes in to just make her happier for her mood. Since she's so isolated, really. So I don't really know what that means when you all put it together, but maybe the underlying message is about fading your addiction and needing people around to support you, because obviously at the start they're all separate, and then by the end you all succeed. We're almost free from them, because everyone's working together trying to support each other. But I like the story anyway because it was simple, but obviously its presentation, its quirkiness is what kind of keeps you going through it. Just because it's a bit random having a game where you're hunting bugs that move around and make noises and look like just normal food that you eat.
Isn't it so sad that I call you my bestie?
And then yeah, it's nice just investigating and figuring out clues, kind of stuff that normally works quite well in games. Just gradually piecing together the story just through the gameplay. Yeah, I guess I kind of transitioned to the gameplay, which is probably the weakest part of the game, but it's still fine and relaxing as well. You're not going to be leaning over, hunched over, playing it, intensely. You kind of sit back and just casually go through it. It doesn't require a whole lot of thinking either. Yeah, so it's similar to Pokemon and you're collecting things, but obviously very different in how you're collecting them. So I mean the basic loop is you head to a new area, which has like a fairly unique visual design from everywhere else. Meet a new character, carry out their main missions, which always involve catching Bugsnax to get them to return to Snaxburg. Generally, during your progression through that area, you get a new tool, and that allows you to catch, even more things in that area. Some snacks though kind of either require a certain time of day or type of weather before you can even find them, and then some as well you can't even acquire them until you get kind of late game tools. Yeah, so it's mainly kind of simple and fun puzzles. Like early on, you may just need like sauce and a slingshot. If you shoot that down in the ground somewhere, say it'll attract like strawberry that's attracted to that type of sauce. It'll run towards it, and then you can set off your trap that's sitting underneath it and catch it. Whereas later on, you may need to use a few of your tools before you can catch it. You may as well need to lure a different Bugsnax. They can unsettle your target before you set off your trap. Generally later on, a lot of the Bugsnax will either be scared off by your trap or they'll repel them. Yeah, so later on it can get a wee bit complicated. So you could have, for example, your target Bugsnax. It can destroy any of your traps if it sees it. It's quite scared if you walk near it as well. But the only thing is, it hates a certain type of Bugsnax, or certain Bugsnax can stun it. And then what you have to do is sometimes you have to use one of your ball lures. You can direct with a laser pointer, use it, put like sauce on top of it, and then attract another, that other type of Bugsnax that is basically the enemy of your target, and then direct that towards your target and have a trap waiting for your target as well. And then once your target's stunned, we can then catch it. So yeah, it just gradually is a bit more involved, but it's fun enough anyway. It's just the only really irritating thing is some of the solutions can be finicky. Like there's one called a Scorpino. It's a scorpion which shoots hot sauce at you. And can destroy any of your traps, so if it sees your traps it'll shoot hot sauce above it. It's on fire as well, so you can't catch it unless it's in water. There's one place in particular where it just sits above water. Anytime you fling a trap on it, a lot of the time it will just shoot it out of the air and it'll not work. Then occasionally it will land on it, knock it in the water, and then you can catch it. Just stuff like that, it just seems very inconsistent. I don't really know. Doesn't seem like there's a clear solution for it. Almost seems like it's an accidental way to capture it, not maybe what the developers intended. But yeah, that's probably the biggest negative about the gameplay. And it doesn't really overstay its welcome, but it wasn't the highlight of it anyway. The only other negative about the gameplay is probably that there's 100 Bugsnax, but quite a few of them are reskins. Like so early on, I think there's the strawberry, which is the strawberry, and then it's just your red strawberry, and then later on you have a white one. Both of them have the same behaviour, it's kind of the same way to trap it as well, but it counts as a different Bugsnax. So there's, even though there's 100, quite a few of them are similar, and it's similar way to catch them. what was a nice small decision was just that it doesn't have a failure state, so it's at least the gameplay is not frustrating you or setting you back, and it doesn't take away from the charm of the game overall. So yeah, I mean that's really it. There's probably another minute or so of the video to go, but played this a couple months ago I think, and I really enjoyed it anyway. I don't know, I don't put scores at the end of my videos or anything like that, but if I had a rank PS5 games that I've played since launch, I'd probably put this probably around the middle or a wee bit higher than that. It was good fun. It wasn't too long, or it didn't overstay its welcome or anything. It didn't drag on. So yeah, that's really it.
It's gonna be.